Hey guys, this is Kevin for Pixavert.com, and in this video, AMD's AM5 platform and everything you need to know about DDR5 memory for the platform. Now, the arrival of the AM5 platform and Ryzen 7000 series CPUs is due on 27 September, just 3 weeks away now. The new platform uses DDR5 memory exclusively, and we now have a wealth of information from AMD about how this is going to work and what memory you should choose for your PC build. But before we continue, the question for this video is for you. Have you tried overclocking your PC? And if you have, what sort of results have you got? So in this video, we're going to take a look at what is the speed of memory you should be going for, what sort of prices to expect, what sort of performance improvement to expect from overclocking. I will have some links in the description to DDR5 memory that you can buy if you're going to be building a Ryzen 7000 machine. The 4 CPUs that are arriving on the 27th are pretty similar to each other and have very similar memory requirements. Firstly, unless you intend to overclock, all you really need is memory running at up to a speed of 5200 MHz. This is the fastest speed that you can achieve with DDR5 on the AM5 platform with these CPUs running at default. Now, thankfully, the prices of DDR5 at this level of performance are pretty reasonable. And whilst DDR5 memory was uber expensive, the price has since plummeted. And right now we're seeing DDR5 memory prices that I would characterize as historically about the average for memory. And with this launch, this time around, AMD have given granular detail about how the memory performs, a little bit more than in the past. We learned, for instance, that for their multi-chiplet CPUs, the top speed will ramp down to 3600 MHz when operating in dual-channel memory mode. Whilst this lower speed may be necessary to support stability in that configuration, many users will still want to try to get the very best performance by overclocking. So let's talk overclocking. Now, with the launch of the AM5 platform, AMD also confirmed the arrival of EXPO. This will provide a one-click solution to overclocking of memory. This will be available with approximately 15 memory kits at launch. Performance gains will be in the region of about 11% according to AMD. So the price performance ratio is going to be pretty important here. EXPO will be a sort of equivalent to Intel's XMP. To use it, you will need a motherboard capable of overclocking, which all of the AM5 motherboards announced recently are. The fastest memory kits will run at 6400 MHz. Now, whilst discussing overclocking on AMD platforms, it's useful to distinguish memory speeds from transfer rates. For marketing purposes, these two things are the same. The number you see on Amazon, for instance, will almost always be the amount of mega transfers per second, or MT per second. The actual memory speed is actually something different and is technically referred to as megahertz. And this is calculated as half the number of the mega transfers per second, hence double data rate or DDR memory. The importance of this is that AMD's Infinity Fabric can couple with either the data rate or the memory speed. If it couples with the data rate at a certain speed, that could produce a sweet overclock. However, if the Infinity Fabric couples to memory speed, the overclock should weaken. Now, the cutoff point at which the Infinity Fabric will switch to coupling with the memory speed, with the megahertz rate, could potentially be around 6,000 mega transfers per second, meaning that it may be a struggle to get good overclocking performance above this. but still I'm sure that overclockers will try. I will have some links in the description to memory that is suitable for overclocking on AM5. Now AMD do warn that overclocking even using EXPO can invalidate your warranty, but the reality is that most of the time the difficulty with memory overclocking tends to be intermittent instability, which could lead to data loss. Finally, one fun fact about DDR5 is that it could potentially support module sizes of 128 gigabytes or even larger. Now, whether we will actually see such module sizes ever is another matter.